Hello everyone, and welcome back to Scarecrow's Billiards. This video is the final video in the Essentials series, Essentials 3. In this video, we'll start off with the MASSÉ shot, then start jumping the cue ball. Just not how you think. From there, we'll transition to a rail first draw shot that you can use as a last-ditch effort to get position. After that, we'll steer the cue ball around the table using predetermined amounts of right and left English. For dessert, we'll go through a four-rail kick and bank shot. Both are slightly different. And for frosting on the dessert, we'll go over the tracks for a five-rail kick shot. If you're still hungry, you'll see how an object ball that's hooked on the tip of the side pocket can still be forced in. So, let's get it on!
First off is the MASSÉ. You need to be able to strike literally straight down at the cue ball. If you're angled out too far, the ball will squirt away. It also helps if you can secure your bridge hand to your side for stability. This shot, as well as a lot of shots in this episode, take a lot of practice. Next up is jumping off of the cushion. You may have already seen the previous short on this, but if you haven't, here it is. When you can't MASSÉ, jump, or otherwise kick out, you can use the rail as your friend. Jack up the stick about 30 degrees and strike the cue ball enough to get airborne, and in doing so, we'll bounce off of the cushion the opposite direction for a clever escape. And now we'll watch real time. And set up for the 8. Practice a couple of times. You'll get it. Next is the rail first draw shot. You can use this shot when 1. The object ball is close to the cushion, and 2. When you don't have a full view of the object ball. In this case, we're shooting at the 7 ball in the top right. Did you know English can be preserved even after hitting a rail? Well, you lose most of it, but if the object ball is close to the rail, you can transfer English to it, and in this case, bottom English, so that we can draw the cue ball backwards for position play at the other end of the table. Let's have a look at this shot. First, at 3/4 speed. And now, we'll see it in real time. Next up is steering the cue ball with different amounts of English. When calculating how much English to put on your cue ball to kick at an object ball, think of it this way. When kicking from a side rail to a side rail with a medium stroke, 1 tip width is equal to 1 diamond, and 2 tip width is equal to 2 diamonds. This one I shot a little slow. The cue ball spun a little more than planned. The next shot, I'll employ 2 tips of right English to try to sink the 9 in the corner. With a beautiful scratch to boot. Next, we'll go 1 tip of English to the left. And finally, 2 tips of English to pocket the stripe in the side. When kicking from an end rail to an end rail with a medium stroke, 1 tip width is equal to 2 diamonds. And 2 tip widths is equal to 4 diamonds. We'll go over a couple of these shots so you can see. First, 1 tip to the right. Now, we'll go 1 tip to the left. Next is 2 tips to the right. And finally, 2 tips to the left. Play around with these so you can get a feel for it, especially with how speed influences the angle as well. The slower you hit, the more time the cue ball has to communicate its plans to the rail. You know, what English it has. Next up, the four-rail kick track. The scenario. You're in a game of 8-ball, your stripes, and the opponent has hooked you behind a solid. You could jump, you could two-rail, but you can also four-rail the shot. Following the yellow line, we're going to hit that diamond on the end rail. With some healthy right running English and with enough oomph to steer the cue ball around 4 cushions, we'll drain the 14. And now, the dreaded four-rail bank shot. Use this shot sparingly as a last resort. The same scenario, 8-ball and your stripes. The opponent's 3 is dead in the side. Your 14 doesn't cut. It also doesn't cross bank the long way or the short way. An option would be to try to play safe by following the 14 and hide the cue ball behind the 8 at the site marked A. Or bring the cue ball to the right side of the table at the site marked B. Either shot has some risk. For this example, we're going for the four-railer. The track is a bit different from the kick track because we can't impart a whole lot of English to the object ball. You'll have to hit this hard enough to get the 14 to make the journey home, and with a good cue ball, the 8 is toast. Now, the dreaded five-rail kick shot. The situation. You're solids, and you can't end rail the kick with the 8 in the way. You can't side rail kick with that stripe in the way. And unless you're fed or gorsed, most of us are too close to the other stripe to make a jump shot. 99% of the time there's a better option than the five-railer, but for that 1%, like what we have here, the five-railer is calling. This is the track you're looking for. The butt of the cue is about at the middle diamond on the end rail, and the tip of the cue is pointing at that last diamond on the side rail. Hit it with a pretty hard stroke and some running English, and you'll find it's actually not that bad of a shot. In this case, a six-railer for shape on the 8. We've all been in the situation where the object ball is just barely snookered behind that point of the side pocket. If the ball is frozen to it, or nearly frozen, and only a little over half of it is snookered, using bottom English, you can sometimes force that object ball right through that point. This is especially hard on my Olhausen because it has wooden shims in the pockets. But some table brand pockets are more rubbery, less rigid, and the balls can be forced through with a good stroke and some bottom English. Well, let's get her done. Whappo! Gotta stroke it with authority. Try it, you'll see.
This brings us to the end. Additionally, to keep your game sharp, don't forget to practice Yuki's maze from time to time. Remember, 1 shot, 1 ball, 15 shots. 1 ball each shot, don't bump any of the other balls on your shot. Final thoughts. When players at different levels match up, you'll find that the lesser player's game goes up and the more experienced player's game takes a dip. An elite player's game will never take a dip, so avoid playing down to your opponent's level. Perfect practice, not practice only, will sustain your game as well as your mentality. So whether you're playing your buddy at the club or playing at the US Open, try your best to play at the same level. Thanks again for hanging out with me throughout the series. It was challenging compiling it, but if it helps at least one person out there, it was worth it. And for all of you out there who want to pick up a tip or two on that game, Onepocket, that video will be coming out soon. But until then, God bless. Scarecrow out.